Comfortable.
Comfortable, everybody?
Comfortably seated for tonight's game.
Pakar.
All right. So, for those who don't know, we have one fan in red and one fan in black, representing a team that is completely unrelated. Um, it's very difficult to decode how a team could go without playing 2 years because two fans that have been suffering due to one team not playing for 1 week itself has been a pretty difficult challenge. But all things set apart, there is a slipper that is about to fly towards our faces because we are here to talk about CSK and Punjab playing a match in Chepauk. And it looks like an absolute run fest of a pitch today because CSK don't have bowlers.
And with that, they have revamped their ground, outfield, pitch, everything. What looks like a belter, they have
Absolutely.
used a heavy roller. What looks like a high scoring game tonight.
Yeah. So I think over the years we've seen that there has been no pitch across India that has been doctored as much as Chepauk, and we will get to see something very similar to that, except it's doctored in the opposite direction, because now the spinners aren't exactly the best of quality for CSK, right? Noor Ahmed is decent, but he has no support. What makes this difficult for CSK is that Noor Ahmed, being a, a leg spinner, a wrist spinner, will obviously mean that he is more of a wicket taker. So his bowling is not exactly going to be restrictive. Now, when a wrist spinner does not have a finger spinner to complement him, he is not going to have the same sort of support to restrict the batting from the other end. If that doesn't happen, then you will be put in a situation where the wrist spinner will go for a lot more runs than he's supposed to. So the opportunities that he generates will not be the same as what you might get to see, and that's why you see the likes of Suya Sharma and Krunal Pandya doing so well in the 2025 season, right? Every successful wrist spinner has some contribution from a finger spinner in the background, and it was the same case last year. You had Jadeja doing a decent job to support Noor Ahmed. Unfortunately, that's not the case this year, and they should have played Prashant Veer in the previous game, but due to the collapse, they sent Sarfaraz ahead of Karthik Sharma, which I found a little baffling. There's a lot of things that they could have done right last time, which they didn't.
Ideally, to get that combination right, CSK can play Akil Hussain in place of Darcy Short and play Prashant
Match shot.
B. Oh, it's match shot.
Darcy shot is-
Different shot. Okay.
Sorry.
Anyways, Akil Hussain in place of Short and Prashant Veer in place of Short.
Yeah, one of those two will obviously make a lot more difference. I would still go with Prashant Veer just because Akil Hussain has been a little easier to figure out. At least Prashant Veer brings you an element of unknown, just because people haven't seen him too much. That being said, Punjab is a very good batting lineup and a very good bowling lineup, so it's very hard to get past them. And giving them a flatter pitch is obviously going to make things a lot more difficult for CSK as well, because I feel like Punjab have the bowlers to deal with flat pitches. They have the likes of Marco Jansen and Vaishak Vijay Kumar, who will bowl with a lot more variation than maybe someone like a Matt Henry. So it is going to be a tough task, but hey, you never know. They might just doctor the Chepauk pitch in the right fashion.
Looking for any changes in CSK's side for this game.
Changes, I would say Sarfraz Khan coming in as impact player did not make sense to me. Instead of Sarfraz coming in, I would rather have someone like Prashant Veer, because he's also going to give you something with the bat and something with the ball. So Sarfraz felt like a very one-dimensional change to me last time,
It was just a knee-jerk reaction to the collapse.
which would have still been fine if they sent Karthik Sharma first and then decided if they still wanted to send Sarfraz or not. They just messed up their batting order last game. I still feel like the quality of CSK's batting lineup is a lot better than what they showed in the previous game.
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with rain factor and the pitch being under covers for a pretty long time, sweating, moisture coming out, and that gave a lot of assistance to the likes of Jafra
No,
and Nadir Baba.
no doubt, like CSK batting is good on flat tracks,
Yeah,
which is what they're trying to do in Chepauk now.
yeah,
You'll see a good improvement in their batting compared to last game.
for sure. So what we saw in 2023 and 2024 is a very different Chepauk surface when compared to what we've seen over the past decade, right? The Chepauk surface over the past 2 or 3 years has been a lot more flatter, and this whole agenda of Shivam Dubey being a spin basher is coming from there. So on those flat Chepauk tracks, he is able to play spin a lot better because at the end of the day, it's not going to spin. So he's a straight ball basher, and that's enough. That's good enough on a Chepauk pitch because they are still able to get a good 40 of 20 knockout of Shivam Dupe on most days. And they will also get a good amount from Sanju Samson. I just don't know if they'll get the same dimension from Rutraj Gaikwad, but if he's able to win them 2 or 3 games, that should be good enough for them, given the
Yeah,
team.
enough 2 or 3 wins in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the context behind the username dash has a lot to do with the previous game that CSK played because Sanju played like an agent from Rajasthan Royals, and that is why
I think he's
Sanju
still
had
a good spy agent from
yeah.
Rajasthan working with CSK.
Yeah, you want me to change this for today? I will change it to um, Punjab
Yes.
Kings.
This is more relevant. I
Yeah,
think.
a lot more relevant for today's game. Hopefully, he has a good knock because I would like the law of averages to like catch up today itself and not continue for the next game. Even though Sanju Samson's record in Chinnaswamy isn't that great as far as I know. I don't remember him playing a good knock in the Chinnaswamy in a long time.
When he was playing for Rajasthan Royals, I think he has had a good in every day game he has performed. I think he has 250s in 2 day games,
Makes sense.
and both were go green games.
Yeah.
I think he got 100 in one of the go green game.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Okay. This even I don't remember. Brilliant.
I
Okay.
think this is 2018 or 19 go green game. Yeah,
Okay. But that was in Chinnaswamy. I mean,
yeah,
it has to be. Yeah.
in Chinnaswamy.
Green games are at home venues. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Let's see how
Punjab
it goes.
Kings, on the other hand, they will be unchanged.
For sure. Um, Given that every player is fit, I don't see any changes for Punjab. They will go ahead with the same team. The only difference that is possible here is maybe the inclusion of Harpreet Brar if it's not a flat surface.
It's a flat
It is,
surface,
yeah.
so
Based on Ashwin's photos, it is a flat surface. But if there are hints of old Chepauk, then you might get to see a Harpreet Brar, or else overall, you still have spin from Cooper Conley. You have Yuzi doing Yuzi things. Win toss and bat first.
only if you're capable of hitting 250.
Yeah. Can you score at least like 220, 230 to give yourself something to defend? Then
Yeah.
go ahead and bat first. Because again, CSK have not chased any total that is greater than 180 since I don't think they've ever chased that. No.
No, they
Since
have so
since
many
since the
years.
Watson era, yeah. Since
Yeah.
the Watson Faf era, they haven't chased one down. Correct. That's the statistic.
They chased 180, but not anything above 180.
Exactly.
That too after the inclusion of Devault Brevis.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, technically speaking, they chased down a so-called 220 plus score from the 2023 final. It's just that it was a reduced score and it became 170. But I feel like if that was a 20 over game and they were still chasing 220, they wouldn't have pulled it off. The only reason they pulled it off is because it was a 14 over game and it allowed everybody to play their quick knocks and walk away from it. They chased last year against KKR.
Yeah, chased.
They chased 180 plus against
180
KKR last year.
plus.
Yeah, Yeah.
Oh,
May 7th, 2025. Please
Okay.
get your facts right.
oh, thank you.
Okay, so that puts the CSK fan into the picture. CSK fan.
Who is in yellow?
Yes,
Yeah.
always.
How do you feel about today?
Uh,
Positive, coming back home on flat surface.
I'm neutral. I have neutral feelings. About
Neutral
it,
fan,
yeah.
no?
The neutral fan.
No. I don't want to be very positive.
Hey, I
and,
mean, once upon a
keep
time,
my
even
hopes
Gautam
high.
Gambhir referred to MS Dhoni as neutral. एक छक्के ने वर्ल्ड कप नहीं जिताया.
Trust CSK, guys. Dubey will clutch.
I feel like if there is any clutch happening, it has to come from Shivam Dubey.
Yeah. Dubey man of the match.
So Shrikant Dash says that your team will also fade like the faded yellow that you're wearing. In all honesty, it looks like white, so I don't blame him. Love it. I like that. I like that comment. Peak comment. Very proud.
In other news, yesterday, even after KKR losing 60 runs, CSK is still at the bottom of the table.
Yep.
How bad is that net run rate?
That net run rate is touching -4.
It's just the first match.
I mean, the scene is if they lose by the same margin this time, their net run rate will actually go up. That is insane. So yeah, let's talk about yesterday. I think we're done. We're done with today's review. I don't think there's much
Easy-
more
easy
to
game.
talk about. Yeah.
Let's
Very,
talk about
very
the record
straightforward.
with Punjab Kings owning Chennai Super Kings.
Yes, since 2021, Punjab have won 7 games against CSK, while CSK have won 2 against them, which I feel is very fuck-ass because how does Punjab Kings have such a good record against CSK when CSK have considered themselves the champs of champs?
And CSK haven't won against Punjab Kings in Chennai in 5 years.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the statistic. Yes.
Half a decade and not a win in home ground.
That has a lot to do with the fact that 2020, 21, and 22, there were no games
Yeah.
in Chennai for CSK.
That's how they claim.
Yeah. But that's how they put forward their facts together. In any case, there is one more element to this statistic. I forgot what I was going to say. We'll get back to that.
We'll get back once we remember if it's relevant.
Yeah. Shit, I was going to say something. Okay. Dev, Lafda between LSG and DC. Should we talk about this game itself first?
Yeah.
Why not? All right, LSG and DC. There is a lot that happened that game, and the primary factor there being Mohammad Shami dismissing KL Rahul on the first ball of the match for the second time in the recent past, because on his debut for GT, opening game for both GT and LSG, Shami bowled the first ball of the innings and KL Rahul was bowled. It was a repeat of history once again this time. And yeah, I mean, at one point, all of us thought that DC is going to choke this game, as they did against MI last year. But interestingly enough, there was a certain CSK blood that came and clutched it up for them. Funnily enough, Kevin Peterson at the start of the game had openly declared that he will back Samir Rizvi ahead of Ashutosh Sharma for this season, which I found quite baffling. But given that he was the batting coach, I was all right with it because, again, Ashutosh did not really perform to his fullest capability last year. And I found that also pretty weird because Punjab had let him go to Delhi very easily. Right? They didn't retain him, they didn't RTM. I don't think they could RT him,
They
right?
didn't.
But
They didn't.
no. They had already used up their uncapped RTM on someone else. Not Priyansh. They'd used an
They
uncapped
had
RTM.
the option of RTM on Jitesh. They lost it.
They lost it because we increased the price to 11 crore, but they had already put down an uncapped RTM before that, and they used the other RTM on Arshdeep Singh. So that was gone from day one. But they didn't push too hard in terms of pricing for Ashutosh Sharma, which I found a little weird. In any case, solid stuff. Delhi actually managed to clutch up pretty hard against LSG. Lungi Ngidi has been in top quality form, and yeah, it's been solid. Too early in the season, but I'm taking PBKS top four. Yeah, I mean,
Easy.
PBKS, MI, and RCB are guaranteed, top four candidates. The fourth spot, in my opinion, should be Delhi Capitals, but
You never
you
know.
never know
It's a
with Delhi
very funny
Capitals.
season.
Yeah, you could always see CSK making it just into the top four. You could always
In dreams.
see, yeah, you could always see LSG also make it to the top four because I was impressed with their bowling actually. So given that LSG had 11 bowlers in their team, fast bowlers, the fact that they managed to pick out three to actually show up and perform for them was interesting enough. They decided to drop Mayank Yadav, they decided to drop so many others, and they continued with the likes of Prince Yadav and Mohsin Khan. That shows the backing that they've given Mohsin after his injury and the trust that they've given Prince Yadav after last year's performances.
Prince Yadav was very good last season, and there's also one important factor for the improvement in LSG's bowling. That's the appointment of Bharat Tarun, the bowling coach.
Exactly.
We got Bharat Tarun. Mohammad Shami was going at an economy of 10-11 last season,
Yeah, for a
and now you suddenly see the OG Shami back. And Prince Yadav looks highly improved. Mohsin Khan, very good bowling, line and length. I think they're just delaying the entry point of Mayank Yadav. I think we
Again,
will see him
we,
at
we
some
will see
point of
him. We will
season.
see him eventually, but it's just that in this case, one would be his fitness concern, the other one would be
Longevity.
longevity and his adaptability to this ground specifically. Right now, we've seen time and again that there have been bowlers and batters, for that matter, who have played badly for one team because they're just not used to that specific surface, but they have gone to a different team and they've actually performed a lot better. And we get to see this. We've gotten to see this a lot for CSK because a Chepauk surface from back in the day allowed these batters to take their time on those surfaces. The same players in the Chinnaswamy might have ended up not performing up to their fullest extent because the top three spots were taken away. After which you would expect someone, I, you would expect these players to come in at 4 and 5 and give you runs at a high strike rate. That's not exactly possible in ground like Swami. The exact opposite for maybe a Siraj, if you take for example. In the Chinnaswamy, not exactly the best of bowlers, but when he went to Gujarat Titans, there was a very decent improvement in his bowling because the square boundaries are larger, which allows him to pitch it a little further back. And there's a larger room for error because you don't have to worry about the batter stonking you over the ground. The only time he gets stumped is if he bowls the ball too full, which he can easily avoid doing with the moving new ball. He can bowl it in good length.
A bit of assistance from the pitch.
That's all it needs. That's all
make
it
a
needs.
lot of
And
change.
we've seen a good amount of assistance for fast bowlers in this one, the Narendra Modi Stadium.
And I think LSG can go with the All India pace attack
For
or
sure.
the bowling lineup.
Yeah.
Because what is with garbage bowling from Antek Nokia?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you have to pick someone between Mayank Yadav and Andrik Nokia, both of them are going to go for a decent amount of runs, but at least Mayank Yadav showed you a little more promise last time. Andrik Nokia is very tailor made for specific surfaces across this country, Eden Gardens being one such surface. But
He got hammered there also
he
last
got,
year.
he got hammered there also last year, but his change in his style of bowling might help him out this time. Let's see. After how this season.
After how this season for your team, after how the season for your team is going,
So,
like,
no,
oh, there's some context.
there is context before this. You should be the last person making fun of RCB after how your season is going. It's been only one game. We'll also not get too ahead of ourselves because I feel like that's what happened to CSK in 2024. But let's take it one step at a time. That is simple as that. In other news, other than
Ajinkya
the
Rahane has the impressive strike rate, like no other batsman has. Man, what a talent.
Yeah, and
He
Erica
should be
Morris.
playing for India, opening along with Abhishek Sharma.
Listen, Erica Morris cooked it in the comments. No, in any case, Ajinkya Rahane's claim in the press conference was that there was almost no other batter with a strike rate as good as his. He was saying he had one of the best strike rates in the IPL. If you break that down, you will see that he is ranked 65th on that list. For
Since
context,
2023.
since 2023. For context, Kohli is ranked 68th on that list. We are not saying that Ajinkya Rahane is a bad player. We're just saying that the claims that he's making are not valid or relevant enough to what he's claiming.
And Rahane becomes paralyzed once he sees a spin bowler.
Yeah, fair enough.
He can't play spin. People mock Kohli for not playing spin.
I feel like Kohli's been playing spin beautifully since 2023.
Yeah. On the other hand, Rahane just he's like, Ana, Bartini whenever spin bowler comes.
Yeah,
And his whatever strike rate is, he's farming them in the power play.
exactly. He's promoted himself as an opener. I feel like the only season where Rahane's strike rate actually mattered and was impactful was in 2023 in that season for CSK.
One season wonder, and he did major damage
Yeah.
for India later in 2 months.
No, I mean, he did play well. He scored an 80 or something in the WTC final.
Yeah.
That's a lot better than a lot of the other batters. We'll give that to him. But yeah, I mean, not much to talk about. It was a pretty straightforward game, even though there was a little bit of promise that was shown by Ankush Raghuvanshi. But I think once he was gone, we all knew. Even before he was gone, we saw the kind of running that he was putting together. It's always some great players who get involved in the most fucked runouts. Yeah. If you look at Kohli and Rohit together, if you look at Dinesh Karthik and anyone together, Inzamam I won't even bring up. But yeah, it's unfortunate that KKR's batting depth is just not enough because aside from their three fast bowlers, they are stacked with Sunil Narayan and Varun Chakravarti as their other two bowlers. So Blessing can't bat, Karthik Tyagi obviously can't bat, Vaibhav Arora can't bat, Varun can't bat, Sunil Narayan can give you a little bit of something, but that's not remotely going to be enough. So your batting ends at 6. And 6 is Rinku Singh, who's not really playing in the best of form. Unfortunately for them, it just doesn't look like a good enough team. And it really doesn't look like they'll be qualifying for the playoffs.
9th or 10th.
9th or 10th for
Six.
sure. Yeah. KKR will finish 9th or 10th. SRH might make it to the middle just because their batting is good enough. Batters will win you games, not get you to the playoffs. Yeah, what was the other game that happened? Did we discuss the others? LSG DC done. This one done. What was before that?
Yeah, we missed 2 games. That's
Yeah,
all.
we missed 2 games. Solid. Okay. GT and PBKS. Did we discuss GT and PBKS? I think we previewed it and did not review it.
Oh, yeah.
What irrelevant game, bro. Boring ass game. Cooper Conley scored a nice little 72. The Gujarat Titans batters are playing like they have been stereotyped to play that way. You know, Shubman Gill and Sai
They
Sudarshan.
continued their form from 2025.
Absolutely.
Top 3.
Top 3
Then-
will perform.
That number 4 player.
We are here to spread washrooms on their agendas.
Yeah, he came, he slowed down the game, caused some wickets to fall out, and he was leaving the balls in 18th over like his guru, Tala. And then destroyed the team's total 160, which is not even defendable.
Look, they
They
did
fancied some chances.
they did send out Glenn Phillips at number 4 for the previous game, which I find was a good option.
Good.
But why would they release Surf and Rutherford and send him to MI when these options were available to them? They wasted a good amount of money on Ashok Sharma, who I still feel like he is a very solid bowler. He will bowl with a solid amount of pace. But is pace really going to win you enough games in the ground like Modi? I don't think so.
And they sent Washington Sundar ahead of Rashid Khan, who is a better batter in modern T20,
At least when it comes to strike rate, Washington Sundar could build an innings,
which is not required. And
not after the 17th over. And at this point, Butler has already reduced the run rate. Gill has reduced the run rate. Sai Sudarshan has played a negative
and
now.
Butler was playing at a point at like 100, 120 strike rate at a point. Up to
Exactly.
like 30
Yeah.
balls.
Until he scored those last couple of boundaries, it was hopeless from Butler and Gill as well. Right. Both of them.
I think on the one end it's fair because Butler is trying to get his form. He's just trying to spend more time in the middle.
Yeah. But on the other end, it is very selfish from him because Gill and Sai had already played an entire power play with nothing to show for it. So you can't exactly slow a game down in that case when your your required score should be at least 180 on that surface. So yeah, unfortunate, but that's all they could do. There's
Alright,
one
what are
other
we missing?
factor that I wanted to cover, and that is Vaishak Vijay Kumar. Yes. Ashdeep Singh went for runs. Marco Jansen bowled beautifully, and I did not
Oh.
expect
They're death bowling. Punjab Kings death bowling.
exactly Vaishak.
Very good.
Solid stuff from Vaishak Vijay Kumar. He's developed this sort of a knuckleball, not exactly with your fingers bent inwards. It's just a very palmed ball. How do I?
You just release from
Yeah,
this point.
Yeah. So to give pace on the ball, right? How you hold a ball matters. Let's say that this is your ball. Okay, this is the seam. I'm holding it on the seam, but there is a gap between my palm and the ball. When that is the case, it gives you a lot more leeway to roll your finger down. And when you're rolling your finger down, Magnus effect, the ball spinning towards you after pitching will obviously give it a lot more force in the forward direction. Simple physics, Magnus effect. Now, if the same ball is sandwiched deeper into your palm, you will not be able to roll your finger down, which means all it is going to do is wobble straight ahead and land on the pitch with no backspin. When you put no backspin on the ball, it's not going to pitch and bounce off the surface. You will not be getting the same kind of purchase when it comes to pace, which means it will hold a little bit in the surface and you're not going to be able to put the same sort of timing on the ball. Why?
The ball
Because it's
will be
just
more
slower.
skittish.
Yeah, it'll just be slower. And that is a very difficult skill to master. I wouldn't say it's as difficult as a lot of other slower balls, but it's difficult for the batter to read. And your chances of bowling a full toss with any slower ball is obviously going to be pretty high, especially when there is dew. In this case, it was good enough for Vaishak for at least to try those deliveries out. He did a solid job. We've seen that he's been bowling cutters for long enough, but I'd say there was a point last year where batters started figuring out his cutters. So he has worked on a bunch of things and he has come back with something new. It won't take too long for batters to figure that out, but at least he's coming back with something new. Also, it is 3:05 p.m. We have to show up at RCB Bar and Cafe for a shoot. It's time to get back in.
Yeah, that's a wrap for today's episode, and hopefully we'll see after the game.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, I'll just put this one comment so that everybody can see it, and that is all. Thank you. We will see you right after tonight's game.